The question I asked you here, how to evade the worms attacks, security experts, how they do to evade such a kind of attacks. Actually, we have to define what is the worm first of all, and then after the first thing to do whenever we are tackling malware attacks in general, not only a specified attack coming from worms specifically, malware attacks. We usually have to be sure that the environment is clean and clear. There is no background malware, hidden malware, because the worms they are an autonomous kind of malware. They can spread themselves. They can act by themselves. They can yes do the necessary tactics and techniques and behavior to infect an environment. That's the first thing. The environment has to be clean. They have to do the technical analysis for the environment to guarantee that the environment is not holding worms. Then after, they have to tackle either the detection scenarios or prevention scenarios. Means they have to install the security appliances and they have to do the necessary security preventions to detect or to prevent. Either to detect means if there is something available or comes, or to prevent to stop from the first phase. Means they have to install, let's say that they have to install security software, security applications to do the necessary behavior. This is the first and the phase that comes after. Yes, before starting any service and applications, before starting using the environment for personal use. And you can stop here at this level, because if you start talking about how to stop and how to evade, like the question is saying, it will take hours and hours of speaking. But simply, the environment is clean. So we start by installing software applications. Then after we talk about detecting and preventing, the story starts from here. The story starts from here, how to detect and to evade and to, and so on. So it is enough to say that those security experts, they have to start by installing specific security applications. As usual, I'll be serving those what we started already, and if you have any doubt about any point, you can stop me meanwhile. On a little bit slow, and if you have any questions, you ask me until we reach the level we covered already.
No,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So we define the spam as a sort of unwanted email. We said that it is actually an unsolicited email, and it is presented to the end user as either a textual content in an email or an image-based content in an email also. And since it is coming from an non-wanted, let's say, the source, the sender, or unknown source also, they might be classified as spam mails. This is the story of what is, or the definition of spam. What is the problematic scenario to classify emails as spam or not? To create, to have actually a box in your email system specifically for the spam system, or spam mails, for the non-wanted emails. What is the problem? Why we should talk about that? Why we should classify the emails in so many scenarios as spam? Are there any security breaches? The answer is definitely yes. Not only yes, it's definitely yes. There are so many issues that comes from the email. There are security breach that we cannot even the most expert security parties, they cannot block the security breaches that they can come from emails. Thus, the spam is one of the breaches that has to be actually taken and considered severely with very severity that it is, with high severity that it is. Yes, it's a danger. Okay, now we classified that there is we met. Okay, that there is a kind of a problem when we deal with a non-wanted or a non-known emails. So we classify them as spam. Okay, good. We are okay. What are those breaches? What are those issues? Here, I come back one slide earlier. We said that there is actually kind of a content that it is textual content, and there is text-based, and there is another kind, another, let's say, model or type of email that it is image-based. What is the problem? The problem is in the content itself, because the text-based or the image-based, whatever, this or that, they might have remote access points. They might have actually links to remote, uh, yes, remote destinations, which are completely non-checked, non-analyzed, and they can lead to some downloads or some destination URL that you open, which they would lead again to some downloads that they are completely harmful. Do not underestimate the content of the email. The content of an email might be visible to you as a text, but it is actually an HTML content, and it is opening a long list of direct malware. We may talk about the iframe attack. We might talk about defacing attack or something like that when we talk about emails. So a long list, I'm saying, and a very severe malware cases through the emails only. Very easy. Simply that you have to trust the thing that it is dangerous, and that's it. If you do not understand what does mean a long list of vulnerabilities in the email only. Okay, now we had the clear understanding that emails might be classified as spam, and spam might have severe malware, some severe, let's say, danger presented to the end users. The question comes here: how to detect and how to classify newly received emails as spam? Okay, if I say Mu'tasam is sending only spam, I'm gonna block Mu'tasam and all emails coming from Mu'tasam. I'm free. Yes, I can specify that all the emails coming from tell party or tell destination, all of them they are spam. Okay, this is good. We can do that. Technically, we can do that. Okay, but what about the new emails? I don't know. Completely, we don't know. And completely new emails. How the systems run and detect those emails and classify them? Either they are spam or not. Because not all the new emails. University of Nazareth, if it sends publicity emails to all the students in Oman, are all the students' inbox will classify the emails from UNISWA as spam because it's new? No, it's not like that. It's not like that. To classify an email, an email as spam or not, a filter has to act. A filter has to act. Like we talk about the firewall or the intrusion detection system or any other filter. There are filters to classify emails as spam or normal safe email. Filter, yes, they do their necessary. There are criterions. We'll talk about that here. We'll talk about that. There are criterions to classify emails as spam or not. Criterions in plural. Okay, the filters they classify an email based on its content. If there is a long list of links and links are suspicious and things like that, they will classify them as spam. But what about if the email is holding only an image? There is no text, there are no direct links, it's only one image. And the image is displayed behind an HTML content or on top of an HTML content. So, will those filters succeed in classifying this email as a spam or not? Doubt it. 90%, and this 90% is from my side, me, Murad, I'm saying, means high probably, and for probably, those filters, they will fail classifying these emails as spam because they do not have the criterions how to declassify. It's an image, it's a picture. We humans read the text in the image, but the program, the computer, the filter will find a difficulty reading this image. So here there's a problematic scenario, and still it's persistent. There is no solution on that. There is no final solution on that. Still it's persistent. Images they are hardly classified as spam, detected as spam. So it's not easy. Still the debate is still going on. Means sometimes filters succeed, sometimes fail, and so on. It's a daily process up to today. Good. How they work those filters? Simply, there are criterions to use in order to block or to allow the email: the title, the content, the description, if there is any description, if the text is having a meaning or no meaning, nonsense or something like that. So the source who is sended, the destination if it is clearly recognized, the sender if it is for a group or for a person. Those criteria they are considered by the filters to classify an email as a spam or not. How to block now a spam? How to completely deny even the spam cannot be received, not to go to the spam box, not to be blocked completely. Completely. Those are the criteria, some, not all, some of the criteria that has to be considered by the security filters to block spams. Remember, this is just the most famous criteria. Those are not the list, the final list, because, as I said earlier, it is up to today, and it is a daily debate in between the technical filters and the email senders to classify an email as a spam or not. Any questions, please?
No, Mr. No, Mr.
A very successful and very famous threat available on the market also is the spyware. Here we are going to define one sort of a very famous attack that also all of us we are in face of it, which is the spyware. The spyware, as the word literally speaking, is a spy tool. It's a spy on us. It spies on you. It spies on me. It spies on all of us. Spy. It's a spy. So this is a kind of static attack. It's a static attack. What does it mean? It spies. What does it mean? It spies. It means it reads what are you opening, what are you doing, where you are accessing in the internet, and so on. It's a spy only. It eavesdrop on your activity. So at the end of the day, it's a privacy hack. It's a privacy hack. What are you doing? It reads what you are doing. What is the software you're using? What are you opening? Your username and password and things like that. It spies only. It spies on you only. So you just simply, there are anti-spyware solutions like the antivirus to block that. But how to classify an activity as a spyware if it accesses your computer? Because it does the thing without permission. It sees what you are doing without permission. It does not ask you to allow or not to allow. No, it does. It spies on you without permission, without consent. So this is spyware. Okay. We come back to that. Okay, there are two kinds of spyware. Mainly and technically, we are facing the spyware with utilities like the antivirus AV. There is an anti-spyware also. It's simply like that. But spyware, there are two groups: the adware and the keyloggers. Adware is something like this. You just open an internet page. Just you open, for example, here, like this one, you open Google or any web page, but suddenly you see an image and the publicity comes to you. This is the adware. You open, for example, Google, or you open the www.abcd, this website you open, and suddenly, without your permission, an image or a publicity or another pop-up window had come to you. This is the kind of the adware. This is a kind of an adware. It's not the unique, because there are so many hidden ads that they are playing the role of adware, and they spy on you also. For what it concerns this is the adware, yes, specifically, yeah. There are reasons actually to classify the adware as a spyware, because it might see what is the website you are visiting, what is your operating system in your computer, what is the utilities you are using to serve the application and things like that. So this is a very severe spying activity. And at the end of the day, it causes a latency in your computer. Latency means to make the computer very slow in this sense. Yes, it does. And clearly it is noticeable clearly. Yeah, effects of this spyware. It slows the computer, absolutely true. It makes the system unstable. What does it mean? You are expecting to open a web page, but something else opens, unstable. A new browser toolbars. Yes, absolutely. As you can see here, all of those lines here, those lines, they are toolbars, those lines here. You did not install. Some you can install, but some also they get installed in your browser, not computer, in your browser without your consent. So install unwanted toolbars. Yeah, new shortcuts in the desktop. Even you may find shortcuts to websites that you did not install. Home page, you used to open the Google as a main page, but sometimes you find a new page opening to you. This is a hijacked home page. And if you're allowing one time those pop-ups, it might increase. You'll find more are coming, more and more are coming. So increase here pop-ups. Pop-up means this sort of image here. You open this website, but suddenly something opens for you. It is a pop-up. It is named pop-up. Okay. For what concerns actually the keylogger, is the second kind of spyware. The keylogger actually is a sort of utility. It might be hardware or software. Hardware or software, both. What does it mean? It saves the keystrokes. It saves the keystrokes, your keyboard strokes. Whatever you open, whatever you do through the keyboard, it is being saved. You write your username and password in Facebook, it is saved. You write your username and password in Edwave, it is saved. It spies on you. It spies all your keystrokes on your keyboard and sends it, once the connectivity is available, sends it to a remote destination, which is to the attacker. Yeah, this is one of the suggestions where to find a good usability of the keyloggers to spy on exams, things like that. A real case example of a keylogger. This is hardware. This is a hardware. Those are other models. The adapters. You expect that this is a normal adapter, but it is a keylogger. It is a keylogger, and especially though, actually, you may say that I'm buying it with my money. I'm buying it with 3 riyal or 100 riyal or whatever. If it is Chinese, expect that it is a sort of a keylogger. It is not guaranteed to be a keylogger. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that expect that it is a kind of a keylogger, because I have a reference for this. the sort of Chinese, those adapters, they can be hacked. I'm not saying that the seller is selling you a keylogger, but it can be pre-adjusted by secondary people and resent to you and resold to you, resold to you. So those are kind of adapters, and they can play the role of a keylogger. All what it comes here, the flow would be saved and sent to a remote destination, which is the attacker, even the attacker. Yeah, and the normal keylogger, actually, it is a software. It's a kind of a software. It acts in your computer without your consent. It saves all your keystrokes and sends it to a remote destination. So this is the main role of a keylogger, clearly and simply. So it saves all your keyboard strokes and sends it. Here is an example of an interface of a keylogger. Yeah, but it will not show you, it will not tell you. It is silently acting. Silently means without any hint. Great, 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 great. So I'm gonna send you the record in just in a while, and take the